Hey guys, what's up? It's Josh here, back with yet another XFL BattleHawks related video. It's actually the first time I've done one of these in a very, very long time. But yeah, anyway, my name is Josh Fan of ShowMeFootball.com. You may have heard of me or seen my site before on Facebook groups regarding the BattleHawks and stuff like that. I did a lot of BattleHawks related content back when XFL 2020 was a thing. I had a podcast with my friend where we talked BattleHawks, and we were really into the league, and I was actually planning on going to a game right before the league shut down in 2020 due to COVID. But I'm back to talk BattleHawks now that the ball is kind of rolling on things, and today I wanted to go over this article from XFLnewsroom.com about the XFL reportedly contacting the Edward Jones Dome in St. Louis to potentially play again when XFL 2023 returns. So I'm just going to kind of read over it with you guys, and then I'm going to give my take and how I feel just about the XFL reaching out and everything like that. But let's go ahead and get into the article. When the XFL kicked off in 2020, there was one team that had a fan advantage going into the season, the St. Louis BattleHawks. St. Louis was the only XFL city that didn't also host an NFL franchise, which actually I think is pretty interesting because I think the XFL thrives in these markets that don't have an NFL team. And I actually will probably make another video in the near future going over this because I really feel like a lot of these spring leagues where they drop the ball is putting teams in like Los Angeles, New York, cities like that, they already have so much going on there that they're not going to pay attention to an XFL team. Now, I know why they do it. They do it for the TV deals. You can still be in the California area or the New York area, but instead of giving the actual teams to Los Angeles and New York City, you could give one to Syracuse. I know Syracuse has been discussed for an XFL team. Or San Diego, who lost the Chargers. They're into spite football. Give them an XFL team. But anyway, the St. Louis fans showed the league they wanted football, ultimately leading the XFL in attendance. In fact, the BattleHawks were on pace to have over 50,000 fans in attendance for its Week 7 matchup against the Los Angeles Wildcats. Unfortunately, COVID shut the world down and forced the XFL to cancel their inaugural season, which is really a shame because I feel like the BattleHawks had a real chance to do some damage in the postseason. And like I said, I was going to attend a game, and I also did an article that exploded about the BattleHawks opening the upper deck for that Los Angeles game. And because they were selling out all these games, like 30,000 fans, because it was just the lower bowl that was open. Given it's a startup league, they want to keep operational costs to a minimum. But yeah, such a shame. Anyway, the XFL now has a new ownership group and are working towards a February 18th, 2023 return. Naturally, many expect that St. Louis should be in the mix when the league hits the field again. Also, with them returning in 2023, I'm still looking forward to it, but my excitement was kind of tempered in 2022 because I thought they were going to come back, and then they were screwing around with the CFL, and it made them delay what could have been a 2022 season. Now we have to wait till 2023, but yeah. We've heard rumors from former BattleHawks guard Bruno Reagan stating that the franchise will be back in St. Louis. So I could have made a video going over that. I just didn't have the time to get to it. But basically, there have been people that are in the know that have confirmed that the BattleHawks are part of the XFL's plans. It would be silly if they weren't. But yeah. Well, it seems we may have some more news on that front, stemming from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson talking about his role in the new XFL during Monday Night Football. Martin Kilcoyne of Fox 2 wrote that the league has reached out to officials at the Dome. And then you can see the tweet right there. You can pause if you want to read it. Pretty much just says what I just read, but Kilcoyne clarifies that an agreement is still not in place, but it shows that the XFL is actively trying to get back in certain markets. Wrapping up 2021, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson joined CNBC, where he shed some details on when we may learn more about the XFL's return, in which he mentioned that new team names and cities and broadcast partners should be revealed early in 2022. Then he reaffirmed that when he joined Eli and Peyton Manning during Monday Night Football, where he mentioned that news should be coming in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So that should be pretty soon. Although we don't know the full plans for the XFL return timeline, it does at a minimum seem that they're interested in staying in St. Louis. We'll keep you posted as more information comes out in regards to 2023 return of the XFL, so stay tuned for more. So, to no one's surprise, the BattleHawks are likely going to be back when the new 2023 XFL boots up. I am excited for this because I do think the BattleHawks were the market that, St. Louis was the market that thrived the most for the XFL. They were really the XFL's cash cow, and I think they would have continued to be atop their best markets had the XFL continued. And it's really a shame they didn't the first time, because I think one of the best parts of the BattleHawks is that they really were one of the better teams in the league when the league was alive in 2020. They really lucked into drafting guys like Jordan Teamu and LaDamian Washington and Marcus Lucas and Kenny Robinson. They had a really good roster. But now they have to start completely new when the XFL boots back up in 2023. At least that's what I believe will happen. I don't think a lot of these players that were in the XFL 2020 are just going to be able to sign back with their old teams or automatically be assigned to the team that they were on, assuming that most of the players that were in XFL 2020 are interested in returning to XFL 2023, especially since, it's a brand new ownership group and they probably have a different way they want to run things. And I do have a lot of faith in Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Redbird Capital to make this thing successful when it starts back up. People, it really frustrates me how people treat these spring leagues. They always say, oh, it'll never work. The XFL won't last. And they point to XFL 2020 ending and see those spring leagues, they never work. Well, it was working. It just got killed by COVID. And I hate people with that mentality, because if they would just give the XFL the time of day, they would learn that it's actually a pretty damn good product and worth watching. And if more people just jumped on the bandwagon, the XFL could really be something. And, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is someone that can actually relate to a lot of the players that are going to end up playing in the XFL. He was kind of a fringe NFL player himself at one point. So I think it's important that you have someone that is overseeing operations that was actually, like these XFL players at one point in his life. And I think Redbird Capital is a legit ownership group that really has a vision for the XFL, which is important. But as far as the BattleHawks returning to the Dome, I think it's awesome, because one of the best parts about the BattleHawks being in the Dome the first time in the XFL is that the Dome was exclusive to the BattleHawks. A lot of these other teams played in places that were already inhabited by like NFL teams or other professional sports teams. Like, the Dome truly was home for the BattleHawks. So I think it's awesome that they could go back there, and I think they should go back there. A couple other suggestions people might have is maybe the soccer stadium when that is finished. I would rather them have something exclusive to them. And also, I'm not a huge soccer fan. I don't even know when the soccer season is. That might interfere with the XFL. But either way, I would rather still have the Dome anyway. And also, the Dome, even though it has aged a bit since it was first built, it's still a good place for an XFL team. You don't need a top-of-the-line stadium for an XFL team. If you're just hosting an XFL team, the Dome is a perfect place. And also, I would love to see some of the money that St. Louis got in the NFL Rams relocation lawsuit to go towards fixing up the Dome, giving it a facelift, and making it attractive to more things in addition to the BattleHawks. But obviously the BattleHawks are the main focus here. Yeah, I think them returning to the Dome is pretty much a no-brainer. I'm very interested to see what else will be breaking pretty soon when talking about The Rock and what he said on the NFL broadcast with the Manning brothers. He said we should get some news in the next 2 to 3 weeks. I wonder if that'll be more of the teams, if it'll be some news about maybe the hiring process or something along those lines, because I would love to see Kurt Hunsaker, who was the president of the BattleHawks the last go-around, come back. I'm pretty sure he said he was interested in coming back. I would love to see Kurt Hunsaker come back. He was a great president of the BattleHawks, and he was the one that worked really hard to try to get that upper deck opened up for XFL 2020, and then obviously everything fell apart with COVID. But yeah, that's pretty much getting us back up to speed with the XFL. Hopefully I will make a video in the coming days about some of the other teams, what I would like to see the XFL do differently this time around, and so on. But yeah, for those of you that really enjoyed this, make sure you like, share, and subscribe so more BattleHawks fans can find this. And let me know in the comments what you think of the BattleHawks returning, and how you feel about them coming back to the Edward Jones Dome, or whatever they call it now, Dome in America Center. You get my point. What do you think of them returning there? And do you have anything that you would like to add or agree with me or disagree with me on? Always love to get some debate in the comments. But yeah, that's all I got for today, and I will see you all in the next one. Go BattleHawks!